you have helped redefine what teaching is. And teaching isn't necessarily teaching. Teaching is about learning.
You're watching the Spotlight Network. Starring Hollywood's newsman, Logan Crawford.
They now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford. Streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now we're diving into the fascinating mind of Dr. Richard John Stapleton. He has penned a wonderful book. It is called Gee, You're Wonderful, Professor. It is a powerful memoir that explores one man's lifelong journey to overcome family programming, embrace self-awareness, and transform how education works through honesty, equality, and the belief that every student deserves a voice. With wisdom drawn from decades of teaching, research, and life experience, the doctor redefines what it means to learn, teach, and truly grow. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Bookside Press for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Good morning, Doctor. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Let me start out by saying to you, gee, you're wonderful, Professor. It's a good way to start the interview, particularly since that's the name of your book. It's a wonderful book. It's a memoir, but it's a whole lot more. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to share your story on the pages of this great book.
Yikes, that's a big question. It would take a while to cover it in any detail, but let me start off by saying I am not a wonderful professor. That title, by the way, is the name of a psychological game that I tried not to play. A lot of teachers do play it. They focus more on being wonderful than they do actually teaching their students something.
Yeah.
And my idea is that don't try to be a wonderful professor, but just try to be an efficient, effective one, teaching what you're supposed to be teaching.
Yeah.
And causing learning. I basically define learning as causing a change in behavior and predispositions. It's not just memorizing things, it's actually learning something that affects your entire life script, programming, and so forth.
Yeah.
It'll cause you to behave and think a little bit different than you had been before, this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's really what this new book is about. And in the back of it, I've got 130 pages worth of new material, which is the biographical part that was added to this book right here, Little Show and Tell. It was originally titled D-Gaming, Teaching and Learning. I published it in 1978.
Wow.
And while I was undergoing TA training at Chapel Hill, North Carolina. But the upshot of it is that this book has just gradually evolved through the years. And gee, you're wonderful, Professor. This book right here is what it looks like now.
Yeah.
It's got about 350 pages, but the biographical part's composed of like 8 chapters worth of biographical material, and also some research articles that I published earlier, a colleague and I did in 2000 that are reprinted with the data and all, showing that my learning process did appear to work at Georgia Southern College. I've got some actual longitudinal data showing that my students may have actually learned something in their classes that helped them be successful in the real world.
Yeah.
We, in 1987, surveyed all of our graduates from 72 to 82, and ask them such things as, which teaching methods do you think you learn the most from? What sort of income level do you have now? And what courses did you have? Which courses do you think prepared yourself best for your career? And things of this nature. And we've got statistical analyses on it, showing we did have correlations and things. That's in the back of that book, fairly long article. But there's another one there called Optimizing the Fairness of Student Evaluations, which is published through by the Journal of Management Education in the US in 2000, using real data from an actual student evaluation at Georgia Southern in the management department. 24 professors were in it. And we got data from the student evaluation showing scores for not only instructor excellence, that is, how well students think you present the material, how interesting you were, and this sort of thing, but also how much you motivated them to study, learn, and expect grades. One of the things in this entire literature is that there is a problem with expected grades. We proved in our case that about 15% of the faculty rated high in terms of instructor excellence, but low in learning and study production. In my case, I was not very wonderful in the instructor part. In fact, ranked 20, I think 23 out of 27, something like that, right at the bottom. On the other hand, I was number one in producing work study outside of class. And what caused it was this thing right here called the classroom de-gamer. That's the gist of it, how to de-game games in the classroom. And the way to do it is to randomly select a student, start a case discussion at the beginning of the hour. And if it's randomly selected, no student can think they're being picked on or rescued by the teacher calling on them. This thing did it, fate did it. And they've then become the leader of the moment. Starting off the class. And they start the discussion. Other people argue with them. We keep that up for 50 minutes, get some new ideas created, hopefully a consensual answer at the end of the hour about what to do in the case, and adjourn class, do the same thing the next day. Well, a very simple process. Students did about 80% of the talking in my classes. I spent my time listening and grading them. And the grades were basically subjective grades based on class participation, 80% of it, 20% based on case write-ups, long cases. I use cases primarily written by business professors at the Harvard Business School, at Southern, also from Stanford professors. Plus, I did case writing myself, use those cases, had students write cases. But at any rate, that's the dialectical case-based part of the subtitle of the new book.
Gotcha. Well, it's a powerful book because you have helped redefine what teaching is. And teaching isn't necessarily teaching. Teaching is about learning. You kind of have changed the paradigm of you're the all-knowing and they know nothing, and have put it more on an even plane of adult to adult relationship in the classroom, right?
Indeed. Very good, Logan.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You learned that.
Well, the old model was, the students were like Peking ducks, and you were stuffing and force feeding them the information instead of having them think critically and eliciting the information from them and having them think about their responses and empowering them in their choices and in their responses, right?
Indeed, and the overall reinforced learning part of the process was also causing them to learn how to analyze whole systems better. To read a factual long case, understand the whole case, and then go back and figure out what's really relevant in the mass.
Yeah.
And once you figure out what's relevant, you discuss that, the relevant points, but also you discuss the interrelationship between the points.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my definition of comprehension, which is on the back of this book now, the new one, the G.D. Gaiman book that shows me with the
degamer there, right?
degamer there in my office. But it's got a formula here at the bottom of it. Comprehension equals n squared minus n divided by 2 plus their interrelationships. And if you draw this, I copied this more or less from Buckminster Fuller. That was how to analyze systems in his case. You have to use, instead of relevant points, he called things focal point entities in a system. If you really want to understand a whole system, you got to study. First of all, you got to figure out what's relevant in it. You separate the relevant from the irrelevant, locate the focal point entities, discuss them as best you can, see how they interrelate, and therefore you comprehend the case. Various and sundry degrees of completeness, of course. Most systems are so large, like governments and this sort of thing, almost nobody can comprehend really what's going on because there's too many focal point entities. But at any rate, the larger the system, the more comprehension is required to understand it. And the whole purpose of any kind of a case discussion is to develop comprehension of the whole system and really understand what's going on in the social and psychological state of affairs.
Yeah.
And part of the whole thing is we're all enmeshed in learning situations with people everywhere. And it's pretty hard to figure out, really what's causing what.
Yeah.
One of the relevant things is this OKness part of it. How okay are you and how okay are they in the overall system? Well, there's TA, transactional analysis, started by Eric Byrne, really focused on that. One of the famous TA books called I'm Okay, You're Okay. It was Dr. Charles Harris. But at any rate, it's not only I'm okay, you're okay, but my old TA mentor at Chapel Hill, Dr. Martin Groter, best mentor I ever had, plus a very good friend, came up with what he called the 5 OK dimension model. It's I'm okay, you're okay, we're okay, they're okay, the world is okay in certain degrees. I mean, he would rate people on each of those 5 dimensions from -1 to +1. Really negative people highest you could get would be -5. The best you could get would be +5 on the other side. And he's put that in a 2-dimensional graph, which is on the book at this page. If I can get it open, I'll show you how it's shaped. It's a U-shaped curve.
Yep.
I
see it there. Yep.
But at any rate,
a valley between mountains.
Right-hand side, you basically got positive people. Negative side, you got negative people. Martin Groter started off in his career. He had an MD degree and a physics degree, studied under Eric Byrne, but he worked in a hardcore prison, Marion, Illinois, trying to rehabilitate hardcore criminals. And in his research there and his other experiences, he decided that the energy level people have is one of the more relevant variables in learning processes. And on the positive side, you got the real winners in society, like the CEOs and the myth makers and this sort of thing. But entrepreneurs are also on the plus side. He rates them at +3 with an energy level way up that curve. On the other side, or the negative side, you got people that tend to wind up in prison. Their OKness level is so low. They've got low self-esteem themselves. They have low opinions of other people, the groups, the world, the whole thing. So they don't do right.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
are what he called monsters.
Yeah.
-3, not okay monsters, but it takes more energy to be a monster than it does to be a creep or slob down here, just a minor foot soldier. Same time, on the positive side, it takes a heck of a lot more energy to be an entrepreneur than a normal person. Normal people at the lowest energy level of all. It takes less energy to be normal than be seriously crazy or a super winner.
Yeah.
And, but at any rate, that's OKness thing is a very relevant part of the book, and part of the thing as a teacher, you want to come across as okay yourself and look upon your students as fully okay. Try to create a situation in the classroom where you have a feeling of OKness. It's not.
Yeah, absolutely. Creating a feeling of equity, a
Yes.
feeling of belonging, and a feeling
Yes,
of a place
belonging.
where it's safe to learn. Terrific work on this book, Doctor. The name of the book is G, Wonderful Professor. It isn't a self-gushing memoir. It's a look at a man's work who has redefined what education is, what teaching is all about, and what learning, the ultimate goal, should be. It is a wonderful book that'll help you understand how facilitating learning in a classroom where student and professor are treated equitably can redefine the dynamics of the teacher-student relationship and have them embrace learning together. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you. I appreciate your understanding and comprehension.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate your insight, the wonderful work on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.